Unless you've been living under a rock, you've probably heard of media reports about hacks here, people losing all their private data, such a bank, or this business over here has been hacked. More recently, you got the Social Security thing where there's supposedly millions of Social Security numbers now exposed and out there on the dark web. That's what a VPN is for. VPN protects your privacy and keeps you secure while you're surfing the web or doing whatever it is you're doing on your mobile device or at home or on your PC. But what exactly is a VPN? How does it work? What does it do for you? Well, those are the kind of questions people who don't know anything about VPNs would like to know before they dive in and purchase something. Some of these things can be quite expensive, some of them are less so, but point is, you want to know what you're getting into before you spend that money. That's what this video is going to cover. We'll tell you everything you need to know about VPNs. That way you can make the best decision for your privacy and your security online. So let's start with the obvious. What is a VPN? Well, it stands for Virtual Private Network, but that doesn't exactly explain what it is. It's a tool, and this tool protects your security and privacy by creating a secure and encrypted tunnel between your device and the internet. That's all there is to it. Now, of course, VPNs are a little more complicated than that, but when it comes down to the functionality of a VPN, that is essentially what it does. So how does a VPN work exactly? Well, it works by routing all of your internet traffic. That's regardless of what exactly you're doing. You could be playing a video game, or you could just be browsing the internet, or you could be sending off an email. Point is it takes all of your internet traffic and routes it through its own server instead of through your ISP, which is Internet Service Provider. Your ISP can be like Mediacom or Comcast or AT&T. The point is, it encrypts all of your data so that if anybody gets a hold of it, they can't read it. Even your ISP can't read it because that data is encrypted before it reaches the VPN server. Now, obviously, there are some inherent advantages to this. Number one is your privacy. Having a VPN protects your privacy. This is especially good if you have a lot of online profiles and social media accounts, things of that nature, but it also, if you secretly enjoy episodes of My Little Pony, nobody's going to know about it. It also gives you anonymity because a VPN masks your IP address. To anyone looking, your IP address will show up possibly in a totally different continent. The point is, it's not going to be yours. An IP address generally is basically a reflection of your home address. And with it masked and reproduced as something else, then nobody can track you. It provides security. Obviously, since your data is encrypted, then it's much more difficult for hackers to get into your stuff and invade your privacy or, check out your IP address. And it bypasses regional restrictions. Like, let's say if some country that you happen to be visiting has certain websites that are blocked for political purposes, religious purposes, whatever it may be in that country. If you're using a VPN, then obviously they can't see your IP address, and your IP address is reflected somewhere else. That helps get you around certain website blocks because you're masked, you're hidden. As with everything in life, I always like to say, or at least it's my opinion, that everything has a balance. And if there are advantages to using a VPN, then there are certainly disadvantages, and that is true. Number one is slower internet speeds. If you're a gamer or you need things if you need to access the internet and do things that require, almost instantaneous results, VPNs are going to make that problematic because they're doing so much extra, encrypting your data, rerouting traffic, masking your IP address. So fast twitch games like Call of Duty, Modern Warfare are probably going to be difficult to do on a VPN. I hear there are some that, you can get away with it on, but it's neither. If you're not doing something like that, you really don't have to worry so much about it. If you're just looking at your emails or you're doing some remote work like writing or something like that, it's not such a big deal. But for anything fast twitch, VPNs may be problematic. Some VPNs keep logs of your activity, which to me defeats the entire purpose. You're using a VPN to keep your data secure and private, and if they're keeping logs of your activity, then you're not secure and private. You may also have to deal with blockades. Netflix is a primary example of this. If they detect that you're using a VPN, they'll cut you off. You can't access the streaming platform. There are other examples of that out there, but it's something you may have to worry about with VPNs, and it's kind of a back and forth thing right now. It may be growing. Some sites may, allow a little more access or be a little more lenient with it, but for the most part, you're going to run into some blockades if you're using a VPN. And the last disadvantage to VPNs is cost. We live in a world of subscription fees. Subscription fees are for everything. Especially streaming platforms, gaming services. There's subscription fees left and right for everything, and VPNs are no exception. Especially true for the premium VPNs. You will have to pay a subscription fee to utilize them annually, monthly, either way, it's a subscription fee. It's what it boils down to. It's the day and age we live in, and if you want a premium VPN service, it's going to come with a cost. Now again, a VPN's functionality is pretty simplistic as far as you and I are concerned. Now obviously there are more complicated things going on behind the closed doors of that VPN, such as the encryption process, encrypting your data. But the most important thing is, and one of the biggest things people worry about, is your ISP. What can your ISP see? Your ISP is your internet service provider, like I said earlier, and every time you jump on your home Wi-Fi that's provided by that ISP, they can see what you're doing. I have no doubt that some stuff that we do is sitting on a server somewhere. The point of the VPN is the only thing that ISP can see when you're using one is that you're accessing a VPN. Everything else is encrypted long before it heads out the door. So let's say you jump online and send an email to somebody, or you access the internet. You type in www.whatever, and boom, you've got a website up in front of your face. All of that is hidden behind closed doors, and it's a closed door that ISP cannot open. As far as they're concerned, you're using a VPN, you're online, and that is all they know, period. So with all of that being said, there are times to use a VPN and there are times not to, and those times are basically entirely up to you. Overall, in general, you want to use a VPN anytime you access public Wi-Fi. I would never jump on public Wi-Fi anywhere without using a VPN. That's just me personally. I just wouldn't do it, especially if you're going to jump on there and access sensitive data like your bank account or something of that nature. Anytime you want to bypass a regional restriction, it would be a good time to use a VPN. If you're visiting a country or something and you discover that you can't access certain websites while you're in that country, then use a VPN. So there you have it. Pretty simple, right? Or at least I try to keep it simple. If you're in the stage of looking at VPNs and you're asking questions like what is a VPN or how does a VPN work, then obviously you're at the beginning stages of this process. So it's important to keep things simple. With that being said, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. It'll really help the channel out, especially here in our early stages. And also feel free to comment any questions or concerns you may have. I'd love to jump on there and answer them for you. But outside of that, we appreciate you checking us out today, and have a fantastic rest of your week.